Welcome to Risky Routes, a short interview series telling the stories of moments when travel forces you to grow up and adapt fast. Because risk creates perspective and perspective creates success. We talk about the chaotic, uncomfortable, borderline bad idea journeys that push people to level up, trust themselves, and take control of their lives. I'm your host, Olivia Goldstein. And today I am joined by Rafael Campiz, who is a leader in medical technology and community service. As the Vice President of Business Development at CMedX, a med tech company focused on life-saving monitoring, he drives growth in the medical device sector. He currently serves as the board of the Rotary Club of Albany, he's also one of the youngest in history, and as a board member of the Albany Rotary Foundation. In his free time, Rafael advocates for better institutional changes and support for human trafficking survivors, drawing from his commitment to building confidence, independence, and positive impact in both professional and civic spheres. Oh my God, what an impressive background. Thank you for joining us, Rafael.
Well, thank you for having me, Olivia. It's an honor to be here to speak with you today.
Thank you. So this is really fun. You had reached out to me with a crazy, crazy story early in your
Yes,
career. Tell me about it. Like, let's talk about it. Dive in. What
sure
happened?
thing. So, when I turned 22, I got into business development. Originally, I have a biochemistry background. So, I'm selling chemical ingredients, and I started going to Mexico a couple of times, three probably in my career. But at the age of 24, this was the first time I ever went to go see a major customer at their factory. And, I've been to Mexico City, I've been to Guadalajara, but I've never been to the state of Guanajuato, which this happened in early 2020. And I didn't realize I was walking into the state in Mexico with the highest homicide rate. This I only understand in hindsight. So I'm just completely unaware of it. I'm just, great. I'm going to see this customer. We're working on a good deal. And I see them at their factory. And so we're wrapping things up. One of the people who invited me, they say, we have trouble getting Uber out here. Do you want us to call you a taxi?
Yeah.
And I tell them, no, no, it's all good. Look, I have Uber right here on my phone. It's working. So,
It
I
sounds like
walk
something I
out.
would do. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
funny.
Because,
The
like,
confidence of like a young 22-year-old. Like, I can do it. I can get there on my own.
exactly. So I walk out of, the gated building. This is what it looks like outside in Mexico. It was a nice, bright, sunny day.
Yeah.
And I'm on my phone and I'm like, I don't have a signal.
Oh my
And so I
God.
think to myself, like, I can't go back into the factory.
Yeah.
Where am I? Okay, look, well, I'm on a highway. Looks like there's a city 3 miles out. Well, I guess I better get walking. So,
You did not. You walked.
yeah. So I'm walking along this dusty highway in Mexico, and I'm wearing a bright light blue suit and a red backpack, which now in hindsight, I realize I listened too much to Sarah Blakely and her red backpack story. So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, well, this is what I got. So,
So you don't blend in at all either. You're
no,
like in a
exactly.
full-blown suit. Oh my God.
Like,
Okay.
you got to understand, this is like a part of Mexico where there isn't really a city, it's just industrial.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking along a highway and there's just like a dirt path. And, I keep seeing like these different auto shops, which in hindsight, I don't know why there's like 20 auto shops on one highway.
Hmm.
And I just keep going and I think to myself, okay, I know I look way out of place. I'm just going to try and look as not much of a tourist as possible. And I'm a bit nervous because in America, there's a perception of how Mexico is supposed to be like, but I've never had a bad experience. And only in
Right.
hindsight am I realizing, wow, I must have been really lucky to have made it through that whole situation. And during the whole time, I'm just thinking about this deeper aspect of life because back in the day I used to be really into, Eastern spirituality and just
Yeah.
trying to see what are the deeper aspects of life. And at the time I was reading the Bhagavad Gita for the seventh time because one of the concepts is just how everything's so interconnected. And that really resonates with my science background, just like looking at how everything
Yeah.
gets smaller and smaller and how everything is interconnected at some level, and just taking those Hindu ideas and just thinking to myself, okay, this isn't anything bad. This is like a test of faith that I'm, standing out, walking along a highway in the highest homicide rate state, which I didn't realize at the time. And that's all I'm focused on. Just focus on going forward. Everything's going to be fine. Now, as an adult, I think to myself, wow, you were young, had no idea what you were doing. And maybe you just had so much inner confidence that everyone looked at you and thought, is he a cop? Why is he
Is he
here?
a cop? Yeah, right. They're like, something's off here. You didn't fit the
Exactly.
vibe
Something's really
there. Yeah.
off.
Oh my gosh. So did you make it to your destination?
Eventually, I did. And so, still no cell signal. So, what I did
How
was
did you
I went,
navigate? Yeah.
it's just one straight path. You just keep going. And
Yeah.
eventually, I got to the closest city, found a hotel. I asked them, is there any way I can get a taxi back to the other city that's like an hour away? And they told me, okay, yeah, just, sit down, go do some sightseeing. Hold on. There is a beautiful church, or I don't know, it's like a giant Roman looking kind of
Oh my God,
building.
cool. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I did a little bit of sightseeing there and, had some food, waited for a taxi, and eventually got back to my hotel in a whole different city and different state in Mexico.
Oh my gosh. So you literally just started walking until you saw life essentially and just
Exactly.
hope for the best that, the goodwill of people, someone will help you get a taxi to your destination.
Exactly. And the hopefulness of no one's gonna stop me while I'm
Yeah.
walking and just like, take me in their car or something.
How long were you walking? Like what was that?
I want to say it was about over an hour, but it was just straightforward. It's just a one way.
Yeah, right. It's only one street you're walking
Right.
down, but still like not knowing when you're going to reach your destination and you're like just
Yeah.
hoping eventually like okay, hopefully no one picks me up along the way. I must run into something eventually. So, oh my gosh.
No, exactly. And I just wonder how many cars just like passed by and saw,
Yeah.
a light blue suit and a red backpack, and
Yeah.
wondering what's going on here.
Yeah, which you could have gotten like kidnapped, robbed, mugged, like
Oh
you're obviously
yeah.
wearing a suit, like oh my God, I'm so thankful that nothing happened, but
Well,
holy
yeah.
cow.
And now I'm almost 31, and I'm a little bit more considerate about where I travel to. For instance, I found out that during that time period I was in Guanajuato, there was a security risk of going into the area issued by the US government. And now I think to myself, okay, before you go anywhere, you got to figure out how dangerous is the place, what's the weather like,
Yep.
what do you need to bring? But instead, I was just, going with the flow of the whole situation, just trusting in some higher power that everything would be fine. And well, it worked out then, but ultimately it was a powerful experience. And just sometimes you won't know where you're going or what you're trying to do, but you just got to have hope that it works out. And that hope might radiate outwards and make people think otherwise.
Right. And it's almost like what were your other options at that point too, right? It's like
Exactly.
you have to get to your destination and it's like you have to make a decision to do something. Like no action is not in um something you can do in this moment. So it's like I can't imagine what you were going through with your thought process in that moment, the fear, the rush, the anxiety, like it's probably just like a flood of emotions as you were experiencing it. And it's like, how do you take that entire experience? Obviously, that's framed now how you travel, right? It's like you
Hmm.
research more before you go places.
Exactly.
But like how do you take that experience and apply it to just life in general now? And how do you think that's shaped you?
Well, I think for me, one of the key elements is that when you think something bad is going to happen, it's oftentimes your mind creating a worse situation than you will actually experience. And a lot of the fear and anxiety you're experiencing in your mind, that is way worse than the actual event. But I am saying that based on nothing happening to me. But it was a key experience that really proved to me that you will always overcome whatever you're going through in the moment. And so more challenges will come in the future, more difficulties will come. But the more of those you have, the more evidence you have for yourself that things will get better and you won't always be afraid or nervous or feel those emotions.
Yeah. What a positive spin on like the whole experience too, right? And it's like oftentimes as you think us as individuals, whether we're at work or we're at home, we're facing some sort of struggle. It's so easy for us to catastrophize the worst case scenario, right? And
Definitely.
and in this scenario, it's like you've learned that it's like it's not always like it's only going to work to your detriment by just focusing solely on the negative. Like nothing happened. And you would have just caused yourself more stress and anxiety. And it's like you were able to have so much more clearer sound judgment by just not worrying about what if, what if, what if, and instead, tactically just like blocking and tackling the challenges in front of you, which are like really great lessons for just anything in life, relationships, work, anything.
True. Overall, I think you just have to have the belief that things will get better. And for
Yeah.
me, I'm just highly optimistic. I could be going through
Yeah.
anything, and I understand that, well, at some point it's gonna get better.
Yeah. No, that's true. So would you travel back there?
I definitely would. I
Okay.
haven't been to Mexico since the pandemic, but I think it's a lovely country. I think the people are friendly, the food is good, and I know that there's a perception of Mexico being dangerous. I
Yeah.
personally have never had an experience like that, but that's not to invalidate other people who have. I think
Yeah.
it's just that, it's not violent 24/7 all the time. There
Right.
are, maybe instances, and then those are over amplified. But
Yep.
the country overall has been enjoyable.
So I should ask this. Do you speak Spanish?
I do, and
Okay.
that's
So
why I was
that
doing
probably
business
helps.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say that probably helped a little bit.
it
At least
does.
navigate right there too.
It is, and you get to meet a lot of interesting people, especially like when you're taking an Uber or a taxi. People really tell you about their lives and their
Yep.
goals, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's so much more of an authentic way to like experience another country or culture if like you can speak the language. Totally.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Thank you so much for sharing your story. A lot of really cool things. I'm so glad nothing happened, but it's a really surreal experience to kind of go
Mhm.
through. And a very positive outcome to like take away from something that could have been very scary, but wasn't, right?
True.
Um,
Well,
so
it was
just
scary at the time, but
yeah, it
you
was scary
overcome
at
it.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
not to downplay it because hindsight's always 2020.
Right.
But yeah, it's just it's cool. I've actually never been to Mexico City. It's at the top of my list for a while. Just like the food scene and stuff, I would love it.
Hmm.
So, um,
Massive population, a lot of Americans there, I hear.
yes, yes. All right. So to wrap things up, I have
Yes.
a few rapid fire questions I want to ask you
Okay,
that I
let's do
think
it.
are fun. If you like to travel. All right. So first, would you rather do a sunrise hike to Machu Picchu or experience the sunset in Santorini, Greece?
Machu Picchu.
Yeah, Machu Picchu hike. All
Yeah.
right. Would you rather visit a night market in Taipei or a food hall in Lisbon?
I
So
think the
Portugal.
Taipei. I don't know what the food's like in either country.
Portugal, yeah, yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot if you're not a foodie, right? All right, snorkeling in the Maldives or a glacier walk in Iceland.
Snorkeling for sure. I've done it once
Yeah.
in the Galapagos. It's beautiful.
Ooh, fun. A desert road trip in Morocco or a coastal drive in Montana.
Now I hear Montana's beautiful. I would go with that one.
Okay, cool. I said coastal. It should just be drive in Montana, right? A train through the Swiss Alps or a ferry through the Greek islands?
Let's go on that ferry.
Let's go on the ferry. Rooftop bar in Bangkok or a speakeasy in New York?
Speakeasy in New York.
Uh-huh. A safari jeep in Botswana or a hot air balloon in Turkey?
That's safari in Botswana.
All right. Midnight swim in the Mediterranean or a dawn swim in the Pacific?
A dawn swim in the Pacific. At least I can see what's coming towards me.
I get it right. Yeah, that's true. Backpacking in Patagonia or island hopping in the Philippines?
Island hopping in the Philippines.
Uh-huh. All right. This one's tough.
Mhm.
The best for last. Mezcal or tequila?
I
You
don't know
say
the difference.
you don't know the difference. That's okay. I
No.
was like, ooh, Mexico. That would be a fun one to ask. I feel like mezcal is an acquired taste that people like. It's a little bit smokier than like tequila. But that's
Oh,
all
okay. I wasn't sure if mezcal is a type of tequila.
right. Yeah, no, that's okay. It's obviously you don't
Okay.
really drink that much, but I was like, okay, they'll be fun maybe because people have like very strong opinions on them. But I
No,
didn't know
it's
if
good if I
you had
knew what
either
it
in
was.
Mexico. Yeah. No, you're good. Well, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you
Well,
joining
thank you
me.
for having me.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.